Yeah, dude. So it's a week later. It's a week later. It's kind of been a busy time, especially considering for those that haven't been aware, PR has kind of been under some craziness due to, of course, the weather, and all that kind of stuff. And to then have an event leading up to it. For those that don't know, my man here is, the progenitor of First Attack, which was initially, the fighting game tournament of the Caribbean. It's kind of shifted though, right? Now you're not, it's no longer just the world of just fighting games, because now you've kind of developed it into like the way where everyone can just come in and enjoy esports in general, right?
Yeah. Now, we do more esports categories, like in general. Like First Attack started as a fighting game event, but now we have categories like Valorant. We have Pokemon Unite. We run Rocket League in the past years. We've done League of Legends. Like we're doing a lot more categories that we have, because since people see First Attack as like the esports event, like a lot of people just like, hey, I want my game in there. I like. Our scene wants to be like, I'm actually talking with some Clash Royale people that they want to bring the category that. So obviously it's not something that's easy for us to like do like team tournaments at the venue. So we usually do like online qualifiers, and then we bring the finals to First Attack, so that every category can have like their own representation. Like the scene can actually be shown. A lot of brands get to know that they exist, because sometimes First Attack is a popular event in Puerto Rico, and maybe brands that are in it's like, oh, it's FGC, but I actually want them to also see like, hey, there's a Valorant scene, there's also a Call of Duty scene. So it's just become into that with the past few years. So, and I'm glad you said earlier, like, oh, it's a week. You have no idea how much of a relief it sounds to hear like, oh, it's a week after First Attack, and I'm like, yes,
much easier to say a week after than it is to be like, yo, it's the week before. The brother wouldn't even be online if it was a week before. He'd be like, yo, man, I'm out. Don't even talk to me. Don't call me. Don't text me. Not until this is done. Because it's real easy. It gets, especially in fighting games, it gets real easy to kind of. We've had these discussions before, and it's been like talked about and then forgotten about, then brought up again. Like TOs go through. They gotta live heaven and hell itself to make these events happen, man. It is a logistical nightmare. We've been at it to degrees. I've worked on everything from your locals to AAA developers like your Blizzards and your Riots and such, working on incredibly big projects. The shit is not easy, but to have a good team behind you is probably like the best feeling you can have, which I'm assuming that's what you got going on. Because by the way, congratulations on 10 years of First Attack for sure.
Thank you. It's a hell of an achievement.
That in itself is an achievement. Not a lot of TOs or tournaments can be like, yo, 10 years. Like, not a lot. There's far few, because most tournaments that don't, that just don't last if they don't have that good foundation behind them.
Yeah. Or they didn't survive last year.
Or they didn't survive COVID years. Yeah, also that. Facts.
Yeah, I'm actually very lucky that I have a team of people that have been here since the first Attack, or that have joined along the way, that have just loved this scene so much that they've always managed to make it, keep it going. Because like the heart of this event is not just me; it's like a bunch of people, including players. Because this is a community-driven event, even though, because like Puerto Rico's small, but we don't have, and I always tell you this, like we don't have the same amount of resources with regards to companies. Like we don't have a Razer office here in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
We don't have like Asus or BenQ. Like we've bought a lot of the equipment because we don't have like a sponsor that can just bring that. Like this year, actually, we had Samsung. So Samsung did sponsor Odysseys for the stage, and we had Street Fighter on PC. You can see Street Fighter 6 there. Because we had I had a code for the online beta, because like I managed to get a code, thankfully, and I was just like, I'm just gonna put it there because I'm not gonna be able to play it. Might as well let everybody else play it, because I'm gonna be too busy.
I'm gonna be busy trying not to pass out here. Actually, well, that's gonna help, because I was gonna ask if you even got a chance to play Street Fighter 6, but it was kind of like a crazy time for you to be able to sit down and do it.
I played a little bit the day before the event.
Okay.
Because it started Friday, so I was I stayed up late, and I managed to play it a little bit.
It was at 3 a.m. That 3 a.m.'s club. Yeah. Let's go.
And then Saturday to Sunday was a 24-hour venue, so I was able to like go there and play a little bit with Jamie, because I want to use Jamie.
Okay.
Because I'm not, because I haven't seen the rest. Like JP is kind of
AKI is coming out. Don't worry.
AKI, yeah, that's the everybody's expecting.
Yeah, expecting you to pull her off. I'm just saying, like, you know, there's a lot riding on that character that you're already going to be reserved for that.
I can so tell that this was the chill day. This was Friday because the video you guys are showing.
Yeah,
this is Friday because that's when Just a Kid was streaming from First Attack. He was streaming Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, I myself.
They were setting it up because he also had a code.
Yeah, I myself was a jury player, so I got to peek in and say what's up to him and be like, "Yo, you live right now?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm in PR." I'm like, "Oh shit, okay."
My favorite was I gifted the subs right behind him. He's like, "Oh," I'm like, "Dude, you're welcome."
You needed to be on him. You're like, "Where's my shout out?"
Yeah, where's my dog?
Right here.
I'm right here.
Like, well, thanks so much, Steady Gorilla. While he's playing, like, that's good.
I'm actually curious because like I see that you guys put a lot together here. For me, it's like obviously I've done TOing before. It could always be a shit show, but how did you decide what should be put in this place from the sponsors that you were getting? Because like it seems like a lot of it is, for most people to say it's empty, but I think this is actually pretty filling if you think about it.
This is day one. Wait till you see the day two footage.
This is day one, and it's just about. I think this is still setup.
Yeah, this is still set up. Day two. You haven't seen day two yet. I'm about to bring it up right now.
Go there.
Here's day two for you, dog.
I was watching streams. Sorry.
Sea of people. That's all you see.
It's just interesting though, because like a lot of people always find it hard to. And I'm gonna be honest. I compare it always to anybody who's been around for a long time. How for you? How long has it been that you're like? If you look back, do you feel like you've always continuously upgraded, or has it always been like, okay, this year, maybe next 2 years, we can't do anything, but we're looking to do it bigger? Is that always something you were thinking about?
Honestly, we try to upgrade every year. We try to. So 2019, so this is the thing. We had very big steps. So 2013 was the first year, right? So no expectations there because it's the first one. Second year, we bumped up to have the event at a distillery. That was the first time ever anything at a distillery. So people were drinking super like after party was super chill because we were right there. 2015 was when we moved to a hotel venue, which was for the first time. And that year, Street Fighter V was coming out next year. So we managed to get the game there so people could try. Because that's the year when there was a circuit and the game was everywhere. They were putting it in different CPT events. And First Attack has been part of the CPT since 2014, since its second year.
From the rip.
So 2016, I think we dumbed down a little. 2017, it was okay, steady. But then 2018 was after Maria. So after Maria, we put in a lot of work to, come back from all that. And we really upgraded a lot. Then 2019, we were a premiere. So a lot more pressure was on that we needed to have it even more. We bought even more equipment. That year we had a lot of streams. We actually were also in the Dragon Ball Fighter circuit.
World circuit as well. Yep.
2020, we have to do a big change because it's pandemic. So we ran First Attack completely online for a month because since we didn't have, since we could do it online because nobody could do a venue because it was 2020. So we decided to just add 20 some categories, including Call of Duty, including Valorant, including League, and we just ran it for a month. We had different weeks for different categories. Like FPS was 1 month, Fighters was another month, and MOBAs were another month. Another week. Sorry, weeks. And we were a month and a half of First Attack online.
I remember.
So that's why we didn't skip a year. We were
you guys were
one of the few events that didn't skip.
Which I actually meant to ask when that went down. Was that the pivoting part? Was that where it really became not just fighting games, or were you already kind of supporting it a little bit in the background, but it kind of blew up more then?
2016 was the first year we added something. We added
already
Rocket League.
Okay.
But then 2017 we added Overwatch, and then 2018 Overwatch came back. Then Fortnite in 2019, 2020 we added all of them because there wasn't much to do.
Yeah, you didn't have to worry about a venue.
Do stuff with venues, and we did it all here. But I will admit it was one of the most exhausting ones because it wasn't just a weekend and we're done.
Yeah,
it was a month and a half working with sponsors, trying to make sure that digital media and all the
deliverables, everything.
Yeah, because you have to make sure that we're moving from offline to online. Will it make the same impact? So we really put a lot of work into having it be very, we hired commentators like Ultra Dave and all these people. We have them commentate the top 8s for the games. So we did a lot of stuff for that. We had Mexico stream the League of Legends finals.
Mhm.
So we were like branching out and networking with, since it was all online, we could actually network with different countries to
Yeah.
try to do something cool. And then 2021 was the return to offline, face mask, vaccination required, and all that. And that's when everybody was hungry for an event. So that year it was like since 2019, 2018 to 2019, we've just been like getting like it's been growing more. The numbers are always bigger every year. I mean, this year is bigger than last year, and last year everybody was so hyped for an offline event.
Oh yeah.
That year was super packed. This year, the restrictions, like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks before, a new administrative order came out, and it was like, okay, masks are no longer required for event. They can be suggested, but I can't obligate somebody to wear a mask because it had just changed like a week and a half before, and that we had originally put face mask required, but after that executive order comes out, we can't really like force anybody to do that.
Yeah, they're like, it is what it is on you.
Yeah, but so far we had a lot of security. Like so far, no reports of anybody like that being like, I got COVID. Like hardly anybody.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
yeah.
I didn't hear anything from this event.
Yeah,
So,
I
I mean, like, to me, I think it went off really, really well. Like, you guys seemed like you were just steadily always going upward. You guys weren't looking at, like, oh, we're going to get stopped by this, which is interesting because a lot of American tournaments were stopped. They were just like, oh, we're not doing anything online. That's stupid. So, I think it's very interesting that you guys took kind of like that forefront. It was like, you know what? We're already excelling. Let's not stop. And I think more people should pay attention to what you guys are doing.
I mean, we didn't want to skip a year because it's just. I felt like skipping a year was just like. It's an event that everybody looks forward to year after year, and then Puerto Rico was like, "Hey, it's First Attack. What are you guys gonna do?" And people were asking because I was already doing like online, like small tournaments, like online roads to First Attack, whatever. And we're like, you know what? Let's just do it. I mean, we can do it online. We don't have to put too much cost. Like I don't have to waste resources on production costs with regards to like stages, like you see there.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about a venue because we had this studio. And we were able to just like pull it off really well.
Y'all don't realize how good some people, or not even just some people or some events, but like, a lot of events have also were birthed from, the COVID times. Like when you don't have to worry about, how you said, a venue, security, the layout, the power, the internet, the stage itself, like procuring all of that, when you don't have to worry about that, like, you could run tourneys on, like, oh, hey, get on, start GG and go do your thing. But, but to do it for a month and a half, though, straight, don't get me wrong, you have to still be just as, tight on the dial because it's like, 7 o'clock start, all players in by 6:50. We're live on stream at 7:05, first game at 7:10. Like, you can't be cutting no slack.
Yeah, and it wasn't weekends. We did it on the weekdays too.
It was throughout.
So we had to, but by that time there were curfews, but people were already working. So we did all the tournaments were starting after 6. So Valorant had like 4 days of tournaments so that we could accommodate for the players to play after 6 until 10 p.m. or 11, so that they wouldn't be like until too late. So we gave extra days for a lot of categories. Okay, first half of the tournament is going to be today. Next one is it was starting Monday. Then Wednesday, then Friday we get to the qualifiers. Then next weekend we do the finals, stuff like that. So that's how we were doing it. We were dividing the games per day. Like Dragon Ball was one day, Street Fighter was another day, things like that. That's what we were doing.
Which by the way, I like how you ended up doing the Valorant stage and stuff because you had it on day 2. Looks like you had the finals going on then. Yep. And you had it. I saw the PCs in the beginning. I was like, I only see 3 on each side. Where the hell are the other 2? I was like, oh, they're behind.
That's an L.
Cool, nice. It's an L for them. So I was like, oh, that's actually for like that stage size because like when you're dealing with like 5, 6 PCs but when you had to deal with 6 with Overwatch, thank God Overwatch is no longer 6. You can only do 5. Yeah. Like you have to deal with like long stages and such. But actually, your layout was pretty dope.
Yeah, no, but that stage is actually bigger than the other 2 because we needed to accommodate.
Yeah,
you can't tell because of the way it's laid out, but it's actually a little bigger than the other 2. You just can't tell because of the way the trussing is.
Yeah,
like,
it looks.
You won't really notice it because of that.
Yeah,
but the Banditech hit us up with the PCs they gave us. They sponsored us with like 12 PCs for Valorant, just in case, if
Yeah, you
any,
get
if any
some
PC that gave
backups.
us trouble.
Yeah, I always need
And then we
backups.
had 8 more PCs for Street Fighter in the Liberty booth, which was where we were running the tournament. And then 1 more PC for Street Fighter to have it on stage for
Which-
top 8.
See,
Oh, go on, Meza, go. Hit 'em.
yeah, I was gonna. No, I was just. You're probably gonna say the same thing, but that's the direction what we want to see things go. So I think it's. I honestly have to say, even before Defend the North, you guys are kind of taking it as initiative to be the ones who are putting everything on PC. Would you say? Like, I mean, out of all the other games too.
I mean, I don't think we're doing it in the sense to be like, oh yeah, we want to be the ones to do it on the
Yeah.
PCs. The thing is that ever since pandemic, it's just like everybody's just seen the light of like how good it is
Yes,
to play on
it-
PC. And it's like,
Absolutely.
my way of thinking was like, if it's the 10th year, I put a lot of pressure in the expectation of it's the 10th year. I'm like, if it's the 10th year and it's the last year of Street Fighter 5, might as well do the last year in the right way and just put it on PC because that's what everybody wants, technically. And I hear, and like Street Fighter 5 and First Attack isn't as huge as like another tournament, like let's say a Combo Breaker or Evo. Like I'm not gonna get 1,200 registrations. So
Yet.
even
Yeah.
I mean, Street Fighter 6 is a different ballgame.
Oh, yeah.
I know that.
Facts. Hard
But-
facts.
But Street Fighter 5, it was manageable. Like with registration that we had, Banditech told us like, if you get more registrations, we can back you up with even more PCs. And it's like,
Wow.
like I was covered. I was like, but are you guys sure? Because I told them all the pressure that came with doing Street Fighter 5 on PC. Like these PCs have to have these specific specs.
Yes.
You have to do this. Have to have these settings. You have to make sure that everything's running perfectly. Because as soon as they don't, it's Twitter.
It's
Your brand, First Attack, but your brand is gonna be like, oh, those PCs are not worth my time, and it's a lot of pressure. Because when we announced it, I showed that person the tweet, and I'm like, pay attention to this tweet in the next hour. A
There
lot
you
of
go.
retweets, people saying like, finally PC. I'm like,
there you
just
go.
so you know, the pressure's on.
There you go.
So-
Facts. Because
Like,
like we said before, like when a problem, like just an example, like you said, when a problem goes down, it's no longer like the pool runner or something has to just reboot the console. It's like you got drivers, you got to be able to troubleshoot a PC, you got to double check GPU, settings and graphics, make sure everything's optimized. The learning curve is not different. So also the support you need alone is important. So if these don't come configured correctly, yeah, that's your ass. That's your ass.
Oh,
It's not- yeah, easy.
And the monitors were the Odysseys. Those are
Oh yes, that too.
240
240s.
hertz. But you have to make sure that the setting, because I have seen tournaments where the monitor is 144, but then the settings put wrong in 60 hertz,
Ooh.
and people like will get pissed if they
Yeah.
see that.
They will
So-
get mad.
But thankfully, like we tested a lot. A lot of the players that were already like getting their badges early on Thursday for setup, we put them to play, like test it out just to make sure. Even though we knew the settings were right, I really wanted people like Mena, Crimson, everybody to like try it
Oh
out. and
yeah,
tell me, like,
yeah,
"Do you
because
feel like anything different?"
they'll know. They'll be the best ones to know. Like not to say there are others that won't, but like at that level, like they're the ones that are going to tell if there's something wrong. Gabe, did you notice anything wrong?
I went 0-2. So no.
Definitely the PCs.
It's like yeah, it was the PC's fault, right? Yeah, it was the PC's fault.
When I sat down to play Team Chris, like there was this. The only issue was like who's first or controller. Like we had to reconnect or restart the game.
Yeah.
but that's it. That's gonna come with the game. That's why we button check. That's why we whatever. Like that's
Yeah,
just
you
the
al-
game itself as well. That's also Street Fighter being weird when you plug in a controller.
Yeah,
Yeah,
facts.
in PC, you always have to wait for somebody to plug first and have it sync to player one. 'Cause
Correct.
That's
Yeah.
always happens. That always happens.
Yeah, it's
So,
just
but yeah.
my unfamiliarity when playing versus on PC.
Yeah. It happens like that. Also, like something that we did different this year is that the layout is much different from last year. Because last year the stages, it was 3, but they were spread out. It was like a triangle. It was like one in the center, and then the other 2 were on the sides. And it was like Valorant one side, Smash on one, and then the center was all the main games. But this year we decided to have them all 3, because that way we had space to put all the booths on one side. So that
Yeah.
all the games, all the tournaments could be on the middle with the command center, and then all the seats for the stages.
Yeah,
So we tried to do as much as we could with the space. Plus, a lot of the sponsors, we, like I said, like we encouraged like a lot of casuals. So a lot of the sponsors had a lot of setups. We had retro in one booth. We had Dance Revolution tournament in another booth. So we actually ran tournaments in some of the booths, even that.
there you go. All right, so actually,
That's
kind
what that
of
was. Okay.
didn't get a
And
chance
local
to say it.
developers too.
Yes, always. You should support your local developers, of course.
Yeah.